President Mandewo, thank you so much for sitting down with me at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. As president of the Union of British Columbia Municipalities, why is it important for UBCM to be here at FCM in Ottawa this week?
So you might already know that every province has an association of local governments. We all work individually within our provinces. So when we come to FCM, it's actually a space for us to get together and not only network, but also to share knowledge and to have that collective voice. We also sit at the board for FCM as the associations. So we are constantly sharing knowledge. But at the convention, it's even a bigger stage for us to connect even further.
So what are you connecting on as president of your organization? You're meeting with other presidents of PTAs across. You're meeting with Rebecca Bly, the president of FCM. What are the common themes that you're hearing that impact BC that might impact, say, Saskatchewan or Alberta or New Brunswick? What are the common themes that you're hearing?
Yeah, so the common themes so far has been housing. But the biggest one that I'm hearing is the undermining of local governments, where you have provincial governments that are making decisions and more eroding the power from local governments, even though we are the ones that are closest to the people. And I often say, federal government is all the money, if that's when they are not in deficit, as well as provincial governments, they've got all the power, but local governments have all the problems. And I'll also add that we have all the solutions as well, right? So yes, it's very critical for us to come together and share what those problems are, what the solutions are, and so we can also collectively advocate because we are stronger together.
We are stronger together, but in BC, I was just on a press conference that you and the First Nations of British Columbia put together around Bill 15. Mm-hmm. You talk about that undermining of municipal responsibilities. Mm-hmm. When you're here at a conference like FCM, are you hearing other municipal jurisdictions, whether it be different provinces, going through similar issues around, say, their own type of Bill 15 in their own jurisdictions, or is that unique within the BC borders?
Oh no, it's definitely not unique because Ontario is actually going through the same thing. And when we say undermining, we are actually being nice. The right word is power grab.
You're actually saying a power grab.
I'm saying it is a power grab. Let's call it what it is. Right? And if you listened to my messages or my interviews in BC, my argument was on behalf of our members, the province has so many efficiencies that they need to work on themselves. But now suddenly they want to come and, override us and take more power, even though they're not doing what they're doing great. Why not work together? Let's collaborate. Because we are stronger together, even within the different levels of government, we are stronger together. Let's collaborate. Let's do what's best for our communities. But you don't do so by coming and just grabbing more power.
I know we're supposed to be talking about FCM, but I need to ask this question. Mm-hmm. Are you optimistic that Bill 15 will be overturned, or there will be a solution that will be beneficial to First Nations, to municipalities in the near future with the NDP government with David Eby?
Optimistic? I would say no. You know why? Because the way that we all went to the provincial government, to the BC government, and shared our discontent or our problems that we saw with Bill 15, with all those people giving the feedback, I would have said they would have seen that and they would have listened and they would have either paused and go back to consult, but they didn't do that. They went forward with it. So to me, it seems like I don't think there's a willingness from their side to reverse it or to do anything because they did have an opportunity to not pass it in a rush, right? So I'm not optimistic, but I do know that I'm hearing from the First Nations that they are going to find other ways.
So what's next? What do you do now? Because I think the spring session has risen for the summer, so that means they're probably not going to be back in until after your UBCM conference in Victoria later on this year. What do you have to do?
So for us, though, for local governments, as you know, they call us the little creature of the province, right?
Which is the worst thing to say to a municipal
we went to our father or our big brother, and we said, listen to us. And they didn't listen. And that's where it ends, really, because we don't have any other powers. The only thing that we hope for is for the other levels of government to listen when we are bringing forward concerns to listen to us. But if they don't, really, we have no ammunition. There's nothing that we can do.
Getting back to the FCM for a few seconds, if you don't mind. You talk about housing. I'm hearing about mental health and addiction.
Oh yes, yeah. We went on a tangent. I didn't get to listen
back
all of
to
them.
the original conversation. When you're here at FCM, whether it be here in Ottawa, in Calgary, up in Edmonton, wherever it is, how do you get those networking sessions where you get those common grounds, that stronger together? Oh, what's working in this community couldn't work in British Columbia. How do you get those common issues, find common solutions, and bring them to common reality to make sure that the people of British Columbia get something from all the municipal leaders from BC attending a conference like this?
So I'll tell you what my council does. So we all come and we look at the sessions that we think are going to benefit our community, and we go to our different sessions, and I take my notes, and if it's slides, I'll take my the slides, and when I go back, I actually report to council to say I went to this session. For example, I went to the nightlife one because we're going to be building, our community Coquitlam is growing, and eventually we're going to be looking to have a nightlife as well. So I wanted to hear some of the best practices that Ottawa, has. I don't want to do the same mistakes that they did. So I went to that session. I also went to the homelessness session, right? Because we are having problems just like other communities. So we're trying to find if other communities have found ways to deal with this so that we can either avoid the mistakes or copy the things that they're doing right so that we can just do the best for the people in our communities.
A very political question, but I feel like you and I are friends now, and I can ask you a very political question. But what is the benefit of UBCM being part of an organization like FCM?
We are stronger together, right? FCM is us. FCM wouldn't exist without local governments. So FCM is made up of all the individual local governments, and I would argue that it would be difficult to be in touch with every single member. So by having the associations in every province, now they have a direct line to a local organization that has the same members at the base, right? So it's actually an effective way of communication to where now they can communicate directly, or they can communicate through us as area associations, and the goal is to make sure that the messages get to the members and that we really do the best that we can for our communities.
So my final question, and this is more of a
final.
If you will learn, if you have not learned already, I ask a lot of final questions.
Okay.
But this is my final question because it's more of a personal one. You're coming up to the end of your term as a two-term president of the UBCM president. How was it? Did you enjoy your time as president of your organization? Because I know you still got a summer, but September is right around the corner. Have you made the changes you've wanted to in the position you've been in for the last 2 years?
Yeah, so I wouldn't call them changes, but as much as for me, I measure success as did I represent the members well. And for that, I'll say I left no stone unturned. I represented the members of British Columbia, small, medium, large, and everything in between. And I listened to their voices, and I advocated as hard as I could. And I think that is a measure of success in this position. And could more be done? I'm sure. But you probably know, from the day that I got elected as president 2 years ago, I think it was literally maybe 2 weeks, we got a slew of legislation, Bill 44, 45, 46, 47, right? And I had to immediately go to the members and say, what are your feelings about this? What are you feeling? So that I can be able to speak for them. And that hit the road running. And I don't think it has really stopped for the whole time.
It does not sound like it stopped. But I want to thank you so much, President Mandewo, for sitting down with me. It's always a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you in Victoria this year.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for being our voice.